Hi everyone, this is the Setpower AB16. So it's a 16 quart, 12 volt refrigerator or freezer, just not both at the same time. It's just a single zone. And for people just wanting something small and compact for just like a day trip during the summer, this may be a good solution. But let's dig in to what you get, what it costs, all that good stuff, and see if this thing really makes sense for people compared to a large refrigerator or some other option. So let's start with, what do you get in the package? Well, you get a 12 volt power cord that goes to a standard like cigarette lighter style adapter. And here we've got it plugged in to our Blue Eddy AC 70. And right now it's pulling about 47 watts. That should drop to about 36 watts because this just turned back on. So runtime, it's going to be in the 36 watt range. Now, it also comes with a 110, 120 volt power supply. And this is really handy. Actually, this will go up to 240 volts depending on where you live. But here in the US, we're going to be running this at 110, 120. And this is what I think is great for a company to provide for a number of reasons. The biggest reason is, before you take this out in your vehicle and start running it on battery power, you want it to be already cooled off. You want all the stuff in it to be cooled off. You don't want to be doing that on battery because it's just going to run and run and run, and it's really going to eat up the amount of battery you have. By being able to plug it in to your standard electrical outlet at home, get it chilled down, get your food and your drinks and stuff in here, and then take it out to your vehicle already cold, you're going to use a lot less battery power than trying to cool it from room temperature down to your operating temperature. So, big plus that it comes with an AC adapter. I really like that. So let's see what else we have. There is this little bar that slides into a slot underneath, gives it a lot more stability when it's in your vehicle. So handy. Not going to be perfect for everybody, but sure, okay. Comes with this really nice ice cube tray. Fill it with water, open it up, dump your ice cubes out. Kind of nice. And instead of keeping ice in here or whatever, 'cause I like ice in my drinks. When we're out somewhere, I really miss having ice in my drinks when we're at camp or something. So being able to make a few ice cubes in advance, I'm not going to use this to cool them off, but I'm going to use this in the freezer at home, make some ice cubes, be able to keep them in here. And, if they thaw out or whatever, then they're all sealed. So I don't have to worry about it. If I decide not to use them, whatever, I can just take it out, pour the water out, and get by. But it comes with it, which is kind of a nice add-on. The next thing is a shoulder strap. And while this is handy, when you're carrying it back and forth to a vehicle or from your vehicle to a picnic ground, this is one spot where I think Setpower dropped the ball here. And it's a little unfortunate because it causes other issues. So let's talk about that, right? On the front and the back are these little things here. I'll show you a close-up. And it's a tiny little slit for this to go through. Now the instructions say, remove the hook. So you got to undo all of this, take the hook off, thread that through there, put it back in here, and now you're ready to go. So, okay, it's not that big of a deal, but you are having to disassemble this and reassemble it every time you want to take it on or off the refrigerator. Had this just been a bigger hole where we could use things like the hook that comes on here, it would also make it significantly easier to secure in the back of a vehicle. As it sits right now, there's no way to really do that. So if I have a strap come across the front, and one across the back, maybe I can probably get it to be fairly secure in the back of our Jeep because there's enough places to strap it down. But just having bigger holes on the front that would take things like ratchet straps or these particular hooks, it just means I could take this on and off super easily, move it to a vehicle, throw some ratchet straps down, really secure it, and life would be great. So because of that, I'm going to give it one strike off for not supporting the hooks that actually come on the shoulder strap. Okay. Let's talk about the size. What does it mean for it to be 16 quarts? Well, that's an interior size. There's two zones. I'll show you the pictures here. The small zone is 4.21 inches by 6.73 inches by 5.47 inches. So you could put a couple sodas there. You could put your sandwich there. Whatever you want for fast access, you can put in that small zone. The large zone is 10.43 inches by 6.73 inches by 11.34 inches. Okay, that is actually a very reasonable size for a day refrigerator for a family. You can put a handful of sodas, a bunch of water bottles. For my testing, I had a full case, the small case, which is 15 bottles of Monster Energy drinks in here. And those aren't regular size soda bottles. They're the larger ones. In fact, because it's nice and cold, I'm going to take one out and have one right now. So it's quite a bit of storage for a small refrigerator. Now you can turn this all the way down to 0 degrees Fahrenheit or up to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Now that doesn't mean it's going to warm stuff. It just means it's only going to cool stuff down to 50. So why you would want that kind of range or temperature, I'm not really sure. We have been keeping this at about 37 degrees, which is what we keep our regular refrigerator at, and keeping my drinks nice and cold. Monster, anyone watching, I could really use a sponsorship. Oh, that's nice and cold. Nice and cold. The weight on this thing is 17.2 pounds, and it's pretty good. Well, let's talk about what the manufacturer says. Okay, in their bullet points, as I already said, has a cooling range from 0 to 50. Fast cooling in 11 minutes with around 42 dB of noise, which the compressor is running right now. Can you hear it? I have other stuff in this room that's louder than this refrigerator. So in terms of noise, the level of noise this thing puts off is very low. I'm very happy with that. Low power consumption of about 30 watts. So again, okay, well, it just turned off, so kind of lost that. I've been noticing at 35 degrees in a room that's 65 to 68 degrees that I'm pulling 36 watts while the compressor is running. Now it does cycle, right? It doesn't need to run the whole time. Set at 35 degrees, it'll drop to about 33 degrees. It'll get up to 37 degrees before it cuts back on. So it has, a little bit of a range there that it operates in. So it's not running full time. So you're not eating up 36 watts 24 hours a day. 3-year warranty on the compressor, 12-month warranty on the other parts. That is pretty much industry standard for like all of them that are out there, the IceCos, everything else. Multifunctional portable 12-volt car refrigerator, free shoulder straps, ice box, and anti-slip bracket. We covered all those things. Armrest refrigerator. It's too big to be an armrest refrigerator in my vehicle, so not sure how that goes. But you could put this in a back seat on the middle armrest between two people and not take up a lot of room. So I guess that's what they mean there. 3 levels of battery protection. So it will monitor the voltage that's coming in, and you can set it to a high, medium, or low setting to determine how much of the battery you want to drain before it turns off. Now, when we're running off something like the AC70, I'm going to keep that on like a medium setting, just so, you know, it does turn off with just a hair less on here. But the low setting, if I was running it off my car battery. So I want to be able to start my car. I don't want this to be able to just drain every last bit of juice out of a car battery. So I would move that to a low setting. Let's talk about the build quality, because it's actually pretty nice. There's no real issues at all with the build quality. The buttons are nice. It goes up and down in 2-degree increments. So I can go from 33 to 35. I can't get to 34. So not a big deal. There's other refrigerators that are similar. I suspect they have very similar electronics in them. But otherwise, the build quality on here is really nice. And it comes in orange or this blue here. So build quality, the internal build quality, I think is really nice. I have no issues with the quality of this product. So that being said, let's talk about efficiency and how well does it work? How long does it last? This is a Blue Eddy AC70. That's 768 watt hours of power. Just for reference, so you know what I'm working with here. Running on this battery, okay, full charge, in a room that fluctuates between 65 and 68 degrees, with the refrigerator set on 37 degrees, because that's what I keep our other refrigerator on, with 15 Monster Energy drinks in it, where every day I'm taking a cold one out and putting a warm one in. The room temperature one, so it's going to be like 65 degrees. So I'm taking one out, putting one in, because this has been sitting in my office for the last couple of weeks, running as my personal office refrigerator, keeping my Monster Energy drinks nice and cool. Nice having a cold one. So, how well did it work? So I gave you the parameters of our testing. A room that's 65 to 68 with the refrigerator set on 37 on a 768 watt hour battery. And we got 57 hours and 7 minutes. I'm actually a little disappointed in that. For the size of this being more than 50% full, I expected longer. In comparison, the ICECO VL45, in exactly the same conditions, that 65 to 68 set at 37 degrees, ran for over 72 hours on this battery right here. So I know it's not the battery, it's the refrigerator not having good enough insulation. Is that a problem? No. And I'm going to clarify that. I'm giving you the data so you know what to expect. But is the fact that it ran for 57 hours a problem? And I'm going to say no, because what it's designed for fits within that parameter. If I'm going out on a 3-day trip somewhere, I'm not taking this. I'm taking a bigger refrigerator. If I'm going out for a day, maybe an overnight, then this is great. That's way less than 57 hours that I'm going to need to run this on battery. I'm going to need to run it on battery for 12 hours, 15 hours maybe, 18 hours at a huge stretch. I'm not worried about the power consumption in here simply because it fits the use case that I see this being used for. So let's talk about price. Currently on their website, this is priced at $326.60. Shows a regular price of $329. So it's on the lower end of the price scale for a 12-volt refrigerator, which is commensurate with its size. So I think that's an appropriate price point for it. And they gave us a discount code, Trail Traveler. 2 words with a space in the middle, Trail Traveler. If you use that, you get 16% off your purchase. Now, I don't get any benefit from that. I don't get a kickback. I'm not in an affiliate program with them. It's just a savings that they're offering to you for us to do this video. They did send this to us, so thank you to Setpower for supplying us with this refrigerator for this review. And I do think we are going to use this in certain scenarios. Probably 80% of the time that we're out on a trail, it's for one day. We leave the house, we drive a few hours, we hit a trail, we drive home a few hours, and we're home. This size refrigerator is perfect. It's going to take up a lot less room. It's going to weigh less. So it would be a benefit for us to have a smaller refrigerator in the Jeep. As I said, if I'm going for 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, this isn't going with us. It's just too small for that purpose. Or maybe, and I doubt this, but maybe we would have the bigger refrigerator in the trailer and keep this smaller one inside the Jeep for our drinks, our lunch, things like that, because now we have a dog that is getting bigger and bigger. He's almost 45 pounds now. And so having a smaller refrigerator in the Jeep makes sense because now we have to deal with a dog. So we may keep a big refrigerator in the trailer and a small refrigerator for the daily runs and things in the Jeep. Don't know yet. We'll have to see how that goes. But it's an option that we have by having a small refrigerator. So I hope this was useful. Hope this gave you the information that you would need to make an informed decision about whether this is a good purchase for you. Thanks for watching, everybody. Stay safe out there. We'll see you on the trails.